one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hard Nine Pod. We are incredibly excited to be here with you today, Spur of the Moment Pod, and it is simply because Guillermo Zuniga is a St. Louis Cardinal.
Actually, I am excited for him, but that's obviously not the reason we're here. I think that was a good signing. That felt like we can get to that later, but that felt like a Dodger type signing.
Yeah, so to be fair and to be honest, we are here because a guy that you and I have been clamoring for, in fact, last year throughout the season, member of the Bandits fantasy baseball team, quite often don't really need to bring up that I traded Julio Rodriguez for him. That's neither here nor there.
Instead of Jared Kelenic.
But the fact is that all year last year, I was like, when we had the literally worst offensive production from catchers in baseball, I kept saying, man, Willson Contreras would look nice in a Cardinal uni. Hey, very soon we're going to get to see Willson Contreras in a Cardinal uni.
Yeah, let's get to the details of the deal. The report there, it was very strange. The reports were originally that there was a 5-year deal on the table for Willson Contreras from the Cardinals. Then John Denton says they're willing to go to 3 and meet the money, but they're not willing to go to 4. So if they go to 4, they'll get him. And now today they get him for.
That's when I went to bed last night. Was when he said that.
Yeah, and then they said, oh wait, never mind. They signed him to a 5-year deal of what was it, $87.5 million? Is that right?
Yeah, it's roughly 17 and a half a year, I think, is what it. Like that AAV, very strong. I know. Look, what is Willson, 30? I should have looked that up. 30, right?
31 in May.
Yes, 31 in May. You get a guy like that who I understand people look. The argument is, oh, he's aging. He's not elite defensively. Okay, first we need to stop that. There's a handful of elite defensive catchers. There are very few who do both. Sean Murphy would have been great. I texted you yesterday. I just don't see us getting Sean Murphy. All the reports on MLB Network, all the reports coming out of the A's camp, and honestly, even the reports kind of coming out of the Cardinals camp, were that A's have kind of said, we don't have to deal him. We want multiple major league ready guys. And I think, hey, good for the A's, by the way. If you're going to deal a guy like Sean Murphy, let's get the most that we can get. And I give Mo credit on this, that we didn't empty the chamber to go get Sean Murphy when Willson Contreras was sitting right there.
Yeah, I think the $17.5 million a year is actually cheaper than I thought he was going to get. So
I mean, what did we say last time? I said, you asked me what I thought. I thought 3 years, $54 million. That was $18 million a year is what I thought. But I also thought that was going to be at 3 years. You said you thought probably closer to $60 million for 3 years. Obviously, we were both wrong on the years, but we were also both were inflated pretty close, but inflated on the AAV.
I thought 360 was going to be an offer multiple teams would be willing to give him. Like, this is the last few days as reports started to come out. And I thought the team that went to 480 was going to be the team that gets him. Cardinals around the same money, just one more year of commitment. He might not be great the 5th year, but he might be. I mean, we've seen Goldie. He's 35 years old about to be, and he won an MVP. So age is just a number for some people. The thing is, Contreras has not physically declined at all. He's in as good a shape as he was when he came up. He looks the same. He hits the same.
Absolutely.
He's hitting better. Like, everything. And here's the biggest thing to me about the defense. I get it. One, he has the best arm in baseball. Just quite frankly, the best arm from the catcher position in all of baseball. And 2, a report came out today. I don't know if you saw this stat. I shared it on my Twitter. The 2 big parts of Cardinals recruiting Contreras was they talked to John Lester and Jose Quintana a lot about him. If John Lester, who has been historically picky about catchers, a lot of times when he was in Boston, he would use his personal catcher. It was most of the time as a backup catcher.
Yes.
If John Lester gave him a rave review, he has no reason to lie about that.
Yep.
And the Cardinals said, okay, well, Lester, a guy that they trust, as they should, veteran pitcher who knows his shit, to be quite honest. And Jose Quintana, who we can talk about in a little bit if we want to, because he signed a deal which is good for him, said that they like him and he works well. He's a good pitch caller. I mean, yeah, what else do you need?
Look, here's the problem. And you and I fall into this category too. I guess I shouldn't speak for you. I fall in this category too, where I go look at a baseball reference page or a Fangraphs page, and it's, again, easy to fall in love with the back of a baseball card, or the opposite, fall in hate with the back of a baseball card. And I think so many it's not just Cardinal fans, baseball fans, because they are stat heads. We are all sort of stat heads. The game revolves around stats, right? More than probably any other game. When it's so easy to look at, his frame rate or fill in the blank, right? Who, in the end, this dude, we said it last time, and I don't know how many times to say it. He was the starting catcher, obviously, along with David Ross, right? But he was there, won a World Series. I've yet to hear a pitcher speak out that Willson Contreras hurt him, hurt his career. I watch him. You and I have watched him hundreds of games. I've never once said that guy's a terrible catcher, right? But what he brings offensively into the middle of this lineup, whether you want to hit him second or fifth, personally, I'd probably put him in the 5 slot, but that's just me.
Yeah.
What he brings, like the addition by subtraction, if you want, not a shot at Yachty and Kiz, but last year, terrible offensive production. If we get Willson Contreras for 3 of the next 5 years, let alone all 5, which we could, and hit that offensive production at that 800 OPS, that is an elite upgrade at the catcher position in that lineup. And that's not to say that doesn't include everybody else.
I think he's the second best offensive catcher in baseball.
Behind Realmuto?
Yeah, that's the only guy I put him behind.
What about Will Smith?
He's right up there. So those 3.
Okay.
Those 3.
That's fair.
Will Smith's really good. I forgot about him for a second. But no one else is in their league. Sean Murphy's great. He's never put up an 800 OPS in his career. Not once. And he's very balanced. I was just looking at stats before we got on here. Versus right-handed pitching, he put up an 801 OPS. Versus left-handed pitching, he put up an 860 OPS. And his BABIP on both were a little bit low, which means maybe he got a little bit unlucky at times. And that was in a lineup where nobody wanted to pitch to him because he was far and away the best hitter.
Right. And last year, people look at, he only caught 72 games. Guys, look deeper than the baseball card. The Cubs were reluctant to catch him down the stretch because they were looking at trading him. So they're not going to put your prized possession out there to potentially get hurt. They shut him down at the end. Smart, by the way. Thank you to the Cubs for that. Caught 114 games the year before. In 2019, over almost 100 games again. We talked about this again last time on the pod. You don't find a lot of guys. Sean Murphy is one of those. Realmuto's the other. They catch over 100 games. You just don't. What this does, I think, and we've talked before, the creativity of Ali, Matt Holliday now, and those guys on that staff, if you want to start Contreras 100 to 110 games behind the plate, you can. If you want to give him 20 games at DH, you can. If you want to give Goldie a few days off and put him at first base, you can. Like, you have a lot of options to get Willson Contreras' bat in the lineup for 130 plus games where he's not catching 130 plus games, if that makes sense.
You know why this move? I love this move. I think it makes so much sense. Because when you gave him the extra year, I for people that say Mo needs to get out of his comfort zone, I would bet my life that he did not want to give him the 5th year. I would bet on it. I would bet my life on it that he did not love having to do that. Here's why I love it. $17.5 million, that won't kill you. Even if his 5th year ends up being bad, it shouldn't kill you. And if it does, that's because the front office is being cheap, not because the deal.
Which, by the way, there is zero reason for you or I or anyone to expect that Willson Contreras at 35 still can't hit. That dude falls out of bed and can hit.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying, in the event that he were to rapidly decline, it's not going to kill you. But also at the same time, they've got 3 catchers in their minor leagues that they from everything I've heard, like all 3 of them. So if Willson Contreras at the end of the tenure here, if it was 5th year or whatever, is playing 70 to 80 games at catcher, like they have other guys that they probably like that could split the reps. Like there's no problem here with me with the length.
We're paying Adam Wainwright over $20 million next year to pitch every 5th day.
He's not pitching it. They didn't give him $20 million.
That was the contract. $18 million.
18.
Okay, sorry, that's close to 20. My apologies. But either way, $18 million to pitch every 5th day. So
is Wainwright more valuable than Contreras?
I also believe. Sorry, I feel like we were talking at the same time there. I also believe a lot of people are still stuck in they struggle. The money these guys are getting is outrageous. Which, by the way, shout out to them. Shout out to the game. I listened to Passon today. Don't tell me baseball's dying when you look at these contracts, because it's not. So when you look at $17.5 million for a guy like Willson Contreras, that it's not my money. It's not your money, and it's not their money. It is the Cardinals' money. Let's use it. Let's spend it. Let's spend it.
And they have a lot of
number one need, and you got the number one free agent available. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could dislike. I mean, I don't know how you could dislike it. For me, even if you think, okay, well, Mo, this might age poorly, even if that's your belief, and maybe the last 2 years you don't think he's going to be a great catcher. Okay, haven't you been asking Mo to do things to win now? That's what he just
Right.
did. He just made a
Yeah.
move, knowing that maybe it might not be great for 2 years. Knowing that,
Yep.
he knows that he's not stupid, but he knows that Willson Contreras gives him a better chance to win a World Series in the next 3 years, and that's what he
Correct.
just did.
Correct.
Great. Like, why would you not? I love that. It's not my money. I don't care if it ends up
That's
being
what
a
I
waste of
said.
money in the
That's why I
fifth
said
year.
it's not our money.
Am I supposed to make Bill DeWitt? Do I care if Bill DeWitt's great grandchildren have $17.5 more million to split between them? I don't give a singular shit. He's a billionaire. So why do
Agreed.
we care about the
Yeah.
$17.5 million that Bill DeWitt is spending? He's gonna make that back in one night on beer sales. He's
The
fine.
other, the other thing you just did, and obviously I still believe, I had a couple buddies text me today, you think there's more moves. I do, by the way. I do believe there are more moves. I don't know what those are. I don't know that I can even speculate what those are because I do believe those are going to be things that maybe we talk about this all the time. Haven't seen coming. That's a Mo move, right? Things we don't see coming. I do believe that. But what you also did by not giving up the farm to get a Sean Murphy, who by the way is almost 29. It's not like he's significantly younger than Willson Contreras. I understand he's a very good defensive catcher. I do. I love Sean Murphy. He was number 2 on our board. We predicted last week if they sign a free agent, it's Contreras, and that was our prediction. If we're wrong, we think they'll make the trade for Murphy. But what you also did was you kept every single asset you have, and that allows you to either A, make a trade now that where you feel like you can get massive value. I don't know if that's at the starting pitching spot. I don't know if that's in the outfield. I don't know if that's in the infield. We don't know. We have no idea, right? Or it allows you to keep everybody, and then you have a ton of weapons come the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I want to go back to the Sean Murphy point for a second. You know what I think it is? I think when a guy goes to college, Sean Murphy did, and Contreras did not. I think you see him for less amount of time. So Murphy has only been in the league for 3 years.
Yeah,
So there's
4,
something
but
in
yeah,
something in your brain that says he's younger, way younger,
right.
because you haven't seen him for a long time. You've seen Contreras for a long time, 7 years.
Yep.
So there's something when they go to college, they're not in your sight for as long.
Right.
So you just think Willson Contreras is this like fossil. Well, no, he just didn't go to college, and he came up when he was super young. Willson Contreras is as battle tested of a catcher as you can find on the market right
Yes.
now. Really, like other than Vasquez, and he's better than Vasquez. So I don't know. I think the leadership he's going to bring. I mean, losing Albert and Yachty, that's a lot of Latin influence in your clubhouse that you lost. You just brought
Yeah.
you brought it right back in. You just brought some
Yep.
right back in.
Agreed.
So I think it's a great move on all fronts. It could end poorly. It could. But I'm not going to bank on that. I'm not going to bet against Willson Contreras. He's been great his whole career.
Right. I'm not either. Yeah, I'm on board with that. We talked last week, or well, a few days ago, about the influence. He's beloved by his teammates. Like you saw guys when they thought it was his last game, hugging him and crying in the dugout. Guys like Ian Happ and some of his pitchers were right there with him. Kyle Hendricks has spoken out about his love of Willson Contreras. Other guys like John, like you said, this guy is going to be, I think, immediately beloved here in San Jose. Here's what I hope. I hope Willson Contreras doesn't come in here and think he has to be Yachty or Molina, like that he has to fill that void. I hope he comes here and he just wants to be Willson Contreras, because if he does that, he is going to be, like I said, you're going to see a lot of sorry, Jake Woodford, you're going to have to change your number. You're going to see a lot of number 40 Contreras jerseys in Cardinals with the birds on the bat, I think, at Busch Stadium.
I saw an interesting point. I don't remember who said this, so I apologize. But he said a lot of catchers would be a little bit intimidated about filling Yachty's shoes. What it says about Willson Contreras that he wanted that is how big of a competitor he is and how confident he is. The fact that he wanted to be the heir to Yachty or Molina, he's not afraid of it. So I think he is going to come in and just be himself, because that's because he knows that Willson Contreras is a freaking amazing baseball player. He knows he's great. But here's the thing. I have a quote from Ollie that I wanted to share. Last night, that's when I began convinced that Contreras may have become the number one target. As he said, they had a meeting with him, and the guy just loves to win, and that he goes to bed thinking about it and wakes up thinking about it. And Ollie loves those guys. So I think he had the sparkling recommendation. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word?
Recommendation?
No, kind of, but no. Whatever.
Glowing?
Yeah, glowing review. I don't know. He had the recommendation from everybody, it seems like, to be the Cardinal catcher. And I think the Cardinals may have been out there looking for a reason not to sign him, and they couldn't find one.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Like they were going out there, how's his defense? Like how is he in the clubhouse? And I think it just seems like at every turn they just got glowing reviews.
Glad to see that U of I degree really,
I still
really,
can't think
really
of the
hitting
word.
strong.
Still can't think of the word I was trying to think of.
By the way, shout out to the Illini for beating Texas last night in a hostile environment. That's huge. At
Good
number
win.
2 team in the nation. After that, they looked bad against Maryland. Maryland, for some reason, owns Illinois basketball, but I don't understand it. But they do. But that was a great man. You get it. You make the comeback to get in after you couldn't buy a shot for like 5 minutes. You make the comeback to get in into overtime, and then boom! What a great win for them last night. That was awesome.
That was a good win.
All right, but I digress. Okay, so let's get, first of all, we've hit, obviously we love where Willson fits. We love what he does here. Let's take a little look at the one that no one knows, the Guillermo Zuniga. Double A from the Dodgers. I assume he was let go because of Rule 5. Is that correct?
No, because then it would have been a Rule 5 draft pick. It's kind of no, it's not a Rule 5 pick, so no, they just let him go for. I think he was just a free agent. He elected
24 years old. Last year had a 10.5K per 9. 21, 12.5. This guy has elite stuff, evidently. Never pitched above Double A ball. What you think? Obviously, my guess is he's not coming here to compete. Do you think he's coming here to compete for a big league spot, or you think that guy's starting at Memphis?
No, he signed a major league deal. He's got a spot.
Oh, guess things I should have known.
Yeah, this is the way I would view this. If you're like, oh, another dumpster dive. One, it's not. I've heard a lot of reports that he changed some of his delivery. He's got a nasty slider, a nasty cutter, and his fastball averages 97.7 miles per hour.
Yes, average.
Average, and he can run up to 100. This is the way I would view it. This is a Rule 5 draft pick, basically. Those are the guys that you take from other organizations, and they have to be in the big leagues. That's why you have to send them back. That's not really this because they signed a contract, but that's basically what they did here. This is a very Dodgers thing that they do. They bring a guy in that has good peripherals, that strikes a lot of people out, that they see something in it they can fix. This isn't your Drew Verhagen, Nick Wickren. We want ground balls to these guys.
Aaron Brooks. Right.
Yeah, that's not what this is. This is a guy that they believe has high-end back into the bullpen potential. And he's cheap. So if he's bad, I mean, there's no harm, no foul. He's just gone. But if he's good, you just found a diamond in the rough.
And do you believe this might make Jordan Hicks expendable?
I don't think Jordan Hicks, I think, has always been expendable, at least this offseason. I want to be looking to trade him, but if someone gives you something that you really like for him, then I don't see why you wouldn't consider it.
Hey, 24-year-olds who average 97.7 miles per hour are not hanging on trees. I don't care what anybody thinks. Go get the guy. No. Let's see what happens.
My thing is go look at the Dodgers bullpen every single season and tell me how many names you would have recognized before the season started, because it's not many.
Right.
You can see Almonte. Go look at him.
Are the Dodgers dead?
They're resetting the luxury tax because they need to.
Okay, well that's fair.
The penalty. So that's the thing. Wait, I want to talk about that for a second. All these teams, the Phillies, the Mets, there are very harsh penalties for not resetting your luxury tax. Like losing first-round draft picks, a lot of penalties that they have put in. The Dodgers have. I mean, the Yankees did it last year. You have to reset the luxury tax and get under it for a year, because if you do it in consecutive years, it just keeps getting harsher and keeps hurting you. So while these guys have a lot of money and a lot of power they want to throw around the league, it seems like if you don't reset it, you have to be able to develop young players. And if you're losing draft picks like out the ass, you're gonna put yourself behind the 8 ball. And I think the Mets are gonna be in for a rude awakening here in about 2 years, maybe, when they realize that building a team from free agency is not a sustainable model.
Yeah, well, the Phillies could fall into that category too. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the free agent signings quickly before we get out of here. All right. So we did our picks a couple weeks ago on where we thought people would go. We've done fairly well, I think, on our picks, pretty well. The next one we nailed, Trey Turner to the Phillies. 11 years, $300 million. 11 years for Trey Turner. But here's the thing: you reunite Trey and Bryce, you reunite Trey and Schwartz. They're all back together. That team, that lineup, when they get Bryce back, just heard Rob Thompson yesterday on MLB Network say, looks like that they're planning on having Bryce back right around the All-Star break. That's really good news. And they think maybe outfield pretty quickly after that. That's also fantastic news. But that lineup, dude, is ridiculous. And then obviously they go out and they sign Taijuan Walker. Dombrowski we've talked about it on here. Everybody's talked about this. This isn't new news. He will spend. He and AJ Preller, they're spenders. Obviously, Steve Cohen, same way. But here you go. I mean, Trey Turner wanted to go out east, said no to the Dodgers, said no to the Padres, and there he is.
Dave Dombrowski will get you a ring, or try his best to, and ruin your organization for years. That's probably what will happen to the Phillies. But by the way, I just looked at our picks. We have not done well at all. We've done really bad.
Oh, I thought we did okay.
I think we've each gotten one right, and it was
way.
DeGrom. It was DeGrom. I think it's the only one we've gotten right.
Did
And
we get
Turner.
Contreras?
And Turner. We've gotten those two. We both said Tigers.
We did?
Yeah, we thought we were going to trade for one.
Oh, how'd you talk me into that? Because I blame you for that.
Originally you said Cubs, so.
Well, I thought you'd go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I said Cardinal. So obviously, Rizzo. We got Rizzo. I said he'd go back.
No, we didn't. We both said Astros.
Oh, I did. Okay, never mind, guys. We did not do well.
We have not done well. We have done very poorly.
On our picks at all, but we nailed Jacob deGrom and Trey Turner. So boom. There you go.
It looks like Xander Bogaerts could be going back to the Red Sox. That's another strike against us because we both said Cubs.
I hope so. Hey, also so let me ask you this.
Wait, I want to talk about the Phillies for a second.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
They also signed Matt Strahm, which I believe is an underrated move.
Yes.
That's going to be really good for them. Walker, too much money. Don't understand why you would ever consider giving him that contract. I really don't. Whatever, good for him. I don't understand why that's the move for them.
He can be their number 4 guy, right? Because Gibson's gone.
Yeah, for like a ridiculously long contract for a guy that's kind of been up and down his career.
They're going for 2023, dude. That's what it is. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, they're in a very tough division still. I still think, after all the moves they've made, I still think the Braves are the best team in that division.
It's going to be interesting to see if the Braves, what they do. Like,
they don't need to do anything. They're so good. What do they need to do?
I think he's still hopeful that Dansby's coming back. Okay, so let me ask you this.
I think he's a Cub.
When the reports came out from Morosi that the Cardinals were very active in the shortstop market, everybody went straight to, because of the report, Dansby Swanson, right? I know you have been anti-Dansby. I had put myself mentally into, if we get Dansby Swanson, I'm okay. He's super cool dude, by the way. Massive fan of him personally. Also, what he brings to a team, way different than, again, just the back of a baseball card. Understand all of that, right? But do you believe that once they saw the Trey Turner signing, like that contract said, okay, we were in the shortstop market. We are no longer in the shortstop market, because what Correa, Bogaerts, and Swanson are probably going to get is way more than you and I maybe had thought they were going to get. Do you think that had a lot to do with also this Contreras move?
No, I don't think they were ever in the shortstop market.
Okay.
I think it's bullshit spread by John Morosi, because someone told him, and his words were very careful.
They were.
We haven't heard anything. We haven't heard much from them, but I think they could be lying in the weeds and be very active. No, they're not active in the shortstop market.
Right.
They've come out and told you we're not getting a shortstop, and it's like most probably banging his head against the wall, saying, "How many fucking times do I have to tell you people that I'm not getting a damn shortstop?" Because one, Dansby Swanson doesn't make any sense for this team. He just doesn't. He's like the same defensively as Tommy Edman. Really good glove, not much of an arm, and his bat's very similar, other than more power.
More power.
But the OPS ends up the same. Correa,
right? Yep.
Correa's great, no chance. Bogaerts, no chance, and Turner's already gone. So I mean, what person thought that they were going to get? I don't understand. And Dansby Swanson, really good player. I'm a fan of Dansby Swanson.
Same.
My whole thing with him is I think he's going to get paid like an all-star, and he has not been consistently an all-star in his career. And I don't see why, when he's about to be on the wrong side of 30, he would now become a consistent all-star. That's my whole thing.
With that being said, a guy who did get paid like an all-star and a future Hall of Famer and a Cy Young winner, and the man who is, how do I say this?
Married to
Kate Upton. Married Mr. Kate Upton, who, by the way, New York's going to love Kate Upton. She seems cool as fuck. Like, the fans in Houston love her. She's everywhere. She's at a lot of the games. She's flipping people off in the Yankees crowd. I love it. But
her and Mattress Mac were bullying Phillies fans.
He got a massive contract in New York. It did feel like once DeGrom left, that was inevitable, that Justin Verlander was probably going to end up there. And I'll give you a lot of credit here. You said you didn't think, I thought Verlander was going back to Houston. You said you didn't because of their pitching rotation depth. You were right on it. You were spot on.
I just felt like for them, it didn't make any. Verlander's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, But you hand the reins over to Javier and Valdez as your next two aces. You just don't need to pay that money to Verlander. It's not necessary. And Houston's very good at identifying when to move on from guys, i.e., Carlos Correa to Jeremy Pena. They're very good at that.
Are the Mets any better? Like that's
No,
I get it. I
they're
love
worse.
Verlander. That's what I'm saying. And they might sign Nimmo. Like I
They
don't know.
don't get Nimmo back. They're significantly worse.
So you're relying on two guys over the age of 40. Hey, two of my favorite pitchers of all time, JV and Mad Max. Two
of the best ever.
Two guys that will kick your ass. Like I want those guys on my side if anything goes down wherever I am.
They're like the Tom Brady's of baseball. Those two.
But like I just don't know. You've now lost Taijuan Walker. There's probably a good chance you're not going to re-sign Chris Bassett. I just don't know that you're a better team now relying on those guys. To me, I love the idea of Steve Cohen spending money, but it almost feels like he just spends to spend.
I said this last year, and I got hate for it. I did. I got a lot of people were like, "You're stupid." I'm like, I guess we'll see. They're gonna have a $300 million payroll if they bring back Nimmo, at least maybe 310. That's how high they're up right now.
Yeah,
and there's no chance that they will be considered anything but the third best team in that division.
Right, I agree. I think I agree with you.
Like, who could they even go get? They would move them above the Phillies or the Braves. They have to go get Correa and Nimmo, and they're not doing that.
One that I did say Correa was going there, but you're probably right. Well, one move that I think went under the radar that shouldn't have. Another Hall of Famer stays where he should stay. Kershaw gets $20 million to stay in LA. He should never pitch in another uniform. I don't care. I know that he's from Texas. I get it. He is the Adam Wainwright. Like I want that guy to be a Dodger forever. I can't wait to see the statue they build outside of Chavez Ravine. I am both of us, massive Clayton Kershaw fan. He just always should be a Dodger as far as I'm concerned. And I'm super pumped for him. I'm pumped for the Dodgers. I'm pumped for the Dodger fans that Clayton Kershaw belongs with the Dodgers. So I was glad to see that happen.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter's son, Clayton Kershaw. Just kidding. I love Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, and Matt Adams. I love Kershaw, but I think it went under the radar because everyone knew it. Can we stop every offseason saying this man's going to Texas? He's not going to Texas.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
he lives. He's not going to Texas. Why would he go? Why I hate that. Every year he could go to Texas. No, just because he's from there. He has told you over and over again he wants to be a Dodger.
He and Bumgarner still live down there, don't they? I think they
probably, but that doesn't mean they want to go play for that organization.
But here's the other thing, dude. Everybody is living in Texas right now. Like
everybody's Austin.
There. So I mean, what is that? That's not.
It's booming. But yeah, good for Kershaw.
Obviously, the biggest name on the board, Mr. Arson Judge, signs not with the Giants. Arson Judge to the Giants. John Heyman. How many times can that guy do things like this and continue to be given a forum by MLB? I don't understand it. I heard Passon earlier today. I agree with him. You feel for him when he got information from somebody who fugazied him. That's all there is to it. Or
I don't feel for him at all. Get information from a good source.
Judge out there. That is, you can't stop laughing over that.
And here's the thing: I don't want to shit on John Heyman at all, but I will say one.
Well, maybe.
No, I don't want to. It's irresponsible. It is. It's bad journalism, and you should be punished for that, in my opinion, because you're giving out false information. His only job is to report baseball news, and you failed.
Right.
On the biggest baseball news in the last decade was Aaron Judge, the guy that just broke Roger Maris's record.
To be fair, I was pretty excited about Arson Judge going to the Giants because that's where I said he was going to end up. Then now he come to find out he gets 9 years. Evidently, according to Passon, also one of the only guys you should ever really be listening to when it comes to baseball.
Him and Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah, when you heard him say that it really was that 9th year and he wanted $40 million a year, that 360. Look, he made a great point today. First of all, shout out to Aaron Judge. He deserves again, we said it last time, you're paid on what you've done already, probably not what you're going to do the next 9 years, but there's no reason for me to believe Aaron Judge falls off a cliff in the next 3 to 5 years. However, the Yankees are not better. Okay? Like this is the same team, and this I'm stealing the words of Jeff because he's the one who said it, so give Passon credit, but he's right, and it's something you and I've talked about off air about this. You said it all the first half. That team is not what they were. They got swept in the ALCS by the Astros. They're not better. Like, you just got a guy back with a shit ton of money that you already had on the same existing team. Are you going to go sign Carlos Rodon? Or are you going to go sign Carlos
maybe.
Correa? You don't
Correa.
Think
they're not getting Correa.
I think the Giants are sitting with a ton of money. I would be shocked if Rodon's not back in San Francisco at this point. Right
I
now.
would be right now. It seems like the Yankees are the favorite to get him. Take that as you will. Who knows? I think
Right.
Correa will
Could
be a
be.
Giant. That's where I think he goes. But
Who?
yeah, Correa. I think he's going to be a
Yeah, I
Giant.
think Correa and Rodon both might end up there.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I think Correa and Nimmo. That's my opinion of what's going to happen. I think they're both going to go to the
Okay.
Giants.
I like that. I actually like that for the Giants.
Yeah, I think it'd be two good moves. Mitch Haniger was a great move for them.
And
That's a
there's
move
no
we can
doubt
talk
we've
about
talked
later.
about this on here too, and you and I've talked about this. The Giants pitching coach should know his name right off the top of my head. I just was reading about him. But brought in Gosman, revived his career, got him a big bag. Did the same thing with Carlos Rodon. What they're doing there with their analytics along with Gabe Kapler. By the way, that man looks like he has to be the perfect human, Gabe Kapler, put together. Like, he's like 48. He's my age, and
he doesn't eat cake. They bought him a birthday. They bought him a birthday cake, and he chewed it to taste it and spit it out.
That's not real. Did you make
No,
that
it
up?
is. He said it. No, I didn't make that up.
Oh
That's 100% real. And and he like only eats meat really. So the cake was like steak. It looked like a steak. They like colored it to look like a steak. And he would chew it up and taste it and spit it out. He does the same thing with chocolate. Weird guy. But I mean the guy is absolutely shredded. So whatever he does works.
Andrew
but I want to get
Bailey,
back to the Yankees.
By the way, sorry, Andrew Bailey. I wanted to give him his props. What he's done out there is phenomenal.
I want to get to the Yankees for 1 second because I agree with you, and I think Yankee fans are excited because they got Judge back, as they should. I mean, that's their guy. I think they would have been better if they would have lost him.
Yeah, maybe.
I think if they would have lost him and they would have signed Correa and Rodon and Nimmo, that's probably a better team.
Yeah, maybe.
They've got a lot of holes, man.
Yeah.
They've got a third baseman making $30 million a year who can't hit. They've got they got Anthony Rizzo, who's good, but he's kind of declining. At least his batting average. I know we don't care about batting average, but peripheral stats declining rapidly. He really had that one huge month where he had 10 homers that carried the rest of his season.
You don't get massive production from the catcher spot.
No, DJ LeMahieu continues to get hurt. Yep. Gleyber Torres has declined rapidly since 2019. Aaron Hicks is just not playable anymore.
Yeah, Bader at center fielder. You've got
Garrett
Stanton,
Cole
you've got Judge.
Garrett Cole is the most overpaid and overrated pitcher in all of baseball. Yep. I don't know. I mean, and you relied heavily on some massive performances from Jameson Taillon, Nestor Cortez, Luis Severino. Jameson Taillon's gone. Yep. Nestor Cortez, I don't know what he do for regression. Probably a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know. Is that team any better? The good move they did make, Tommy Kahnle was a really good move to bring him back to New York. He had a really good season last year. He's healthy. He's a really good reliever, so I think that was a good move. But I think Aaron Judge is a terrific player. Don't get me wrong.
Agreed.
But you just added $30 million to your $20 million to your payroll and really didn't do anything other than keep it the same.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough to add 20 on top of what he was already making last year and not have a better team.
Before we get out of here, what do you think the next domino? Do you think anything falls? I mean, obviously today is the last day of the winter meetings. Do you think anything else big happens today, or do you think this is one of those where we all go on the Christmas holidays and we're waiting till maybe after the New Year's?
I think a lot of things are going to happen before Christmas.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people want to know where they are before Christmas. That's been a thing in baseball forever, where guys want to know where they are before the holidays. Just it's a comfortability thing for people. You also want to figure out your housing situation, stuff like that. I think Bogarts will be the next one to sign, personally. And I think the Correa market's going to probably start moving pretty quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if Bogarts and Rodon are both signed by the end of the day today.
Yeah, I did hear the thing that they think Swanson might wait for Correa and Bogarts to sign.
I would.
Really, yeah, I would too.
If the Cubs are shit out of luck and they don't have Correa or Bogarts, you say, okay, Cubs, come get me. You need a shortstop. You told your fans you were going to get one, so you better pay me. That's what I would do.
I guess you brought him up. We didn't mention Jameson Taillon to the Cubs. We didn't mention that, so that's another.
Bellinger, big one.
Bellinger, that's another one. Yeah, I knew there was somebody else. First of all, $17.5 million. Hey, good.
What are they doing? Look at their outfield. Who are they playing him over?
Well, they're playing in center, I assume.
Over Morel? The young guy?
And
Morel, Suzuki, and Happ. They're paying Suzuki a lot of money, and he's a long-term commitment. So why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know the
Why?
answer.
What are you doing?
Evidently, there's also a couple of Asian pitchers, Japanese, I believe, on the
Kodai
market. Maybe one
Senga?
Korean. Yeah, one Korean guy and one Japanese
The
who are gonna.
Toshihida guy, is that how you say his name? He's an
Yeah, I don't
outfielder.
remember
He's
how
an
to say.
outfielder.
I'm not even gonna try.
He's an outfielder.
I said a banh mi was a Korean sandwich last week. So,
Okay, listen to what I'm saying to you. He's an outfielder.
but there's a pitcher too, though, right?
Yeah, Senga, but you said two pitchers.
Okay.
There's only one pitcher.
Okay, sorry.
I was trying to
Two-
verify. I was
yeah,
trying to clarify that.
I appreciate that. Yep. So it's gonna be interesting. Do you think the Cardinals do anything before Christmas?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't predict. I think
No.
they should go. I think them and the Marlins are almost a perfect fit to make a trade for a pitcher.
Who would you like to see?
Edward Cabrera.
Okay.
That's who I want. They said everyone's
Okay.
available at Sandy. I would go get Edward Cabrera.
Okay. All right. I like it.
That's I would not go get Pablo Lopez. He's completely overrated.
About 6 months ago, that was your guy.
That was when he was underrated. Now he's gotten overrated. He has been. He has a 3.7 ERA. He's thrown over 120 innings pitched one time, and it was last year. And even then, he had a 3.7 ERA with less than 9 strikeouts per 9. I don't get the lure.
Yeah, I agree. On next weekend on our next pod, we are going to be talking about the Cardinals rotation. That's what we'll focus on and kind of talk about some options there and see what we kind of give what we think may happen. It's very hard to speculate on because, like I've said before, and I've said this for a little bit, I think there's a lot of guys who could become available via trade here very soon after these winter meetings that we had no idea were going to become available. And that's where I think maybe Mo makes his next move. I could be wrong, but I don't see another big free agent signing for the Cardinals. I just don't. I mean, they don't do this. This is Contreras' highest AAV of any free agent in Cardinals history that did not play for us, has never played for us. So he's not going to make I don't see them one-upping that. So, yeah, a few things. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? I got a few things before we get out of here.
I just think I think that's just Wilson's a great sign. I think the more I've thought about it, the more I've begun to really like it.
Same.
They got their guy. That's what I like. That's what I like that they said, okay, Murphy might have been their 1A, but they said Murphy or Contreras. I guarantee those were the top 2 choices for them. Yes. And they got one of them. They didn't wait.
Yep.
I think a good point that I heard Brendan Schaefer make was Mo has gotten into trouble when he's been backed into a corner. He lost out on Price, so he got Mike Leake. He lost out on Adam Eaton, so he got Dexter Fowler. Right. This time, I think it was a focus of him.
And they lost out on Price also.
I think it was that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
I said Price and they got Mike Leake. That was my whole point.
Good. I just heard
now you're ruining my point. Hold on, let me finish. What I was saying was I think he probably made it a point to get a catcher this week because he didn't want to fall in a position where they were forced to make a move they didn't want to make. So he went out and made the move he wanted to make. So I applaud him for it. If you're going to shit on him when he doesn't make moves, you've got to applaud him when he goes out there and gets a little bit uncomfortable and gets a guy that immediately makes your team better.
Yep. Couple things. About an hour and a half ago, we had tickets for the Pelicans-Pistons floor seats that were all inclusive. Evidently, bought tickets on StubHub, said all inclusive complimentary, did not include those, found that out. So had to go through StubHub customer service. That's not necessarily a fun thing, but shout out to them. They did give me a full refund. Evidently, I just had access to 2 little lounges I could go to. But when I bought the tickets in very bold red, complimentary food and drink, was very excited about that. Now probably just going to watch the Pelicans on TV. So kind of bummed.
Why don't you just go for like the $5 tickets?
I don't know. It's not like the whole point was if I'm going to go, like if I'm going to get out and drive all the way down, it's 8 minutes from my house.
It's like 10 minutes away.
But if I'm going to go, like I really wanted the experience of the floor seats and the all.
It was $45. You still could have had the floor seats.
We could have. You're right, but it was.
I would have still gone. The beer's cheap there.
I was more mad at the idea that I was fugazied by the thing, but they did give me a refund, so that's good. Second thing, my hats came. I think I'm gonna keep them.
Turn that one around. I want to see what it looks like.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you this one. This is my Angels one.
Did they ever wear a maroon hat?
I don't know, but I kind of like it from the '89 All-Star Game patch on the side. I love.
Oh, that might actually be that might be an All-Star Game hat. Hold on.
I kind of like it.
1989 All-Star Game.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do like it with hats.
All those old Angels hats, the blue ones are sick with the halo. Yeah. I love that.
Well, I thought this one was red, but as we discussed, I was in the sunlight with my phone and it's maroon, but I still kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool.
Hold on. Let me see that.
Yeah?
Let me see it. Yeah, that's not. I don't see any hats look like that.
No, but I still like it, so I'm gonna keep it.
Some
And
of these
then
Angels hats are sick.
yes, I agree. And then this one came today, which I really like actually. Um,
Yeah, that's nice.
and then it's got the 66 All-Star Game patch.
Cool. I
So
wonder if
because St.
those.
Patty's Day and because of, hey, I love the front, I love this logo. And also, let's be honest, I don't want to go through the hassle of having to print a return slip to return them. So I think I'm
Sorry,
just going to keep them.
I just got.
I mean, I need more hats anyway, so I'm just going to keep them.
If you want to know the current state of University of Illinois students and their mindset right now, I'm in a group chat with my whole class, and I just got like 20,000 notifications, and they're starting a petition to cancel the video issue story because none of them can get interviews.
Welcome to University of Illinois
They're
Sports
like,
Journalism.
they're like, I added my name too, and they're like, Caleb, add your name. I'm like, I already have my interview done. I'm not getting involved in this.
Hey, nice job. Well done. Well done. Stay off
So
the list.
if they cancel it, perfect, fine. But there's no way this man is going to cancel that. He will not cancel it. I had a traumatic experience
They're going to
yesterday in
hate
my
you, by
interview.
the way. They're going to hate you.
No, trust me, I'm not the standard in that class. Anyway, I don't think he's going
Is
to
it
care
Brad
whether I'm
Underwood's
involved
daughter?
or not.
Brad
No,
Underwood's
she's
daughter?
not. She's not in that class.
Okay.
She's in one of my classes, but she's not in that class. I had a traumatic experience with my interview yesterday. I was waiting to tell you this until we got on here.
Okay.
I got there. The way that it works when you're editing it is you need to use your little I don't know what it's called, but it's like the thing that reporters plug into when they like hold the button and it records audio. Audio recorder, that's what it's called. And then you need to use your camera, and you have to like merge them together and like use you have to use the audio recorder basically for the class. That's part of the requirement. And you have to use a mic so that it sounds good. I got to the interview yesterday, and I said, "Hey, I need to put this mic on you. Like, I have to do this." And he said, "No, I'm not using a mic." I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Well, I'm not getting all dressed up. I'm like, it's just a clip-on mic." And he said, "I don't want to use all this technology." I was like, "Okay." So I had to like set the mic. I finally convinced him to set the mic close enough to him so that I could pick it up. The audio probably sounds terrible. And I
No.
was so pissed. I almost left. I almost just walked out. I was like, I need this interview. He gave a pretty good interview. But
You
what
should have
kind
walked
of
out and signed the petition.
I didn't know they were gonna do this. And I can't wait for the email from my professor saying, what the hell is this? I'm not canceling the final project because you guys can't get an interview. We've known about this for like months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
shout out to you for waiting to the last minute too. I would have done that the same thing.
well, yeah, well, I've had other assignments along the way, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I got my interview. There's 20 other people. I feel great about myself right now.
Hey,
I feel, hey, I could turn in what I have right now, and I might be able to just get an A because I'm the only. If he curves it,
guaranteed
yeah.
an A. Yep.
Everyone's like, I don't have an interview yet. I'm like, what have you people been doing? This is worth like 13% of our grade or something crazy.
Yeah. Hey, guaranteed an A.
They said this petition. This makes me laugh. I hope none of them see this. One of them probably will and talk to me about it. But they said petition to change/cancel video issue story.
I love it. Hey,
I love the effort. If it works, I will be
Rage
singing their praise.
Let's go.
If it works, I will be singing the praises of all those people because I will not be doing it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Last thing, massive day today, December 7th in our history, obviously with Pearl Harbor. But also shout out to my pops, your grandpa. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to my dad. 85 today. So if you get a chance, give him a call.
I already did.
All right. How was he?
Good. Is that a conversation we want to have on here? He was good.
No, I'm getting ready to call him again. I already talked to him once. I'm calling him here in a minute. So,
All right, anyway. Have a deep conversation about my grandpa on the sports podcast.
Happy birthday, Pop. Happy birthday. All right. We will be back here soon with we're going to go through some starting pitching stuff. So probably this weekend before Caleb comes back to the 504 and go through what we think the Cardinals might do with some pitching stuff. By then, maybe there's some more free agents signed. I assume there will be. Maybe some trades. We'll see what happens here. Today, very happy day to be a Cardinal fan. I'm super pumped Willson Contreras is here. That just, like I said, that fills a massive void that has been in this lineup, to be fair, for a few years. And, now that you have it, enjoy it, relish it. Let's not keep shitting on it, Cardinal fans. This is a great move. It's a great day for the Cardinals. it's been years since I remember a massive free agent signing for the Cardinals. So this is great. This is really cool.
And I think the big thing is because this isn't much more money than they gave Dexter Fowler. So you could say Dexter Fowler, of course. I think this is a better way to put it. Maybe I don't remember the last time that they made a free agent signing of this caliber that felt this important, impactful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like they've made moves very similar money. But they've never, like Mike Leake
Not on
didn't
the free
feel
agent market they haven't.
Mike Leake, but you can say Mike Leake and Dexter Fowler. Neither of those two felt. That's what I'm saying. They were a lot of money, but none of them felt impactful. This one was a lot of money, and it felt like he deserves this money. You know what I mean?
All right, guys, everybody out there. Once again, please do us a favor. Go to our YouTube page. You can find it on the Hard 9 Pod. Give us a like. Yeah, you can see all of our videos there. Please subscribe. You hit the little, I think it's a red button on YouTube.
It says subscribe. Yeah,
have gone way up. That's because of y'all. We greatly appreciate that. The numbers continue to rise with our pods. We can't thank you all enough. Have an amazing week. We will be back soon. Everybody take care of each other. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.